past, I mean, like a lot of us that are just living out in suburbia and getting on with our lives, you'd see things on the news, you'd see these protesters, and I'll be honest, there were times when I sat there and I thought, they're a bit of a rabble, or they're just making a bit of a scene, or... We've got the power! We've got the power! I was a national voter. In 2008, I voted for John Key because I thought we needed a change of government. When it came round to 2011, I hate to say it, I did vote for him again, which I suppose brings me to the TPP.
Will be the world's largest free trade area. What does this mean for farmers, for dairy producers?
At first, I just wanted a bit of information because I was a bit concerned with what I'd heard. The more I read, the more I studied, the more I tried to find out information, the more concerned I became. And then I saw an ad in the paper that somebody was trying to organise a rally and they wanted volunteers. I suppose I went through a few things in my life, though, that perhaps made me decide it's time to stand up a bit more. In 2008, I was unfortunate enough to lose a child, and as any parent who has been through that knows that you change a lot. Then a few years later, because we lived in Christchurch at the time, we went through the Christchurch earthquakes, which again is another one of those events that makes you assess life and assess what's important. That 2011 was also when we had the referendum on asset sales. And I think that was when my mind shift came, was because I saw that government when it got in. One of the first things they did was to start selling assets, even though that referendum had an overwhelming no, which I suppose made me start looking at National a little bit more cynically. Good evening. In 2014, the first march I went on, I was nervous. So I arrived that morning when we were about to have the first march, and there was one of the ones another volunteer had this banner and said, would you help carry the other side of this for me? And I said, yes. And then discovered it was the front banner, which to my horror meant that there were all these photographers looking at me. And yes, it was quite nerve-wracking marching up the main street of Dunedin. But there was a spirit amongst the crowd, and that was, it's really hard to find the right words, but we were there united in a common cause. I'm really split how I feel about my trip to Auckland. There's one part of me that's quite excited to be going, and I'm quite honoured too, because I'm not just going for myself. I'm representing a lot of people down here, a lot of good people who I've met. There's another side of me that's a little bit nervous, there's a bit of trepidation, because there's a bit of uncertainty of what we're walking into. I'm Dianoux from Dunedin. Well, I arrived Tuesday night, and that was just a rush from the airport. And then today it's, wake up. I did check the news and saw that they've announced the signing to be half an hour before our march, which is a bit disappointing. As well as the march today, there was also a picket down around the Sky City. There are people who think we've done enough marches, that we need to escalate it a little bit. The trouble is that is where the troublemakers are likely to congregate as well.
If you get arrested, I know no one's planning for that to happen, but if that does happen, don't say anything.
Look, I really hope it goes well for them down there too. But we've tried to stay unified behind the march. There you go, you guys read that one out.
I was marching along, and we just had a fellow from Channel 1 come up and take a picture of our banner and ask me a few questions. Luckily, I was able to answer quite confidently, I think, and knowledgeably. When I first started, I knew little bits, but I'd mumble and I'd have to refer people, and I'd just say, go Google. But now I can speak to a stranger confidently about what the hooks are in this deal, what the implications are going to be for the future. For me, just getting the message out, that's the important thing, and that's why I do this. It's no point me sitting at home talking to the cat about it.
A lot of people have had little doubts and thought, well, you know, are we going to achieve anything? Are we just wasting time and energy? And it's scary at times. I mean, I've had to step outside my comfort zone. But I've come to see the point of this.
It's a bunch of young radicals.
But it's never been a bunch of young radicals. It's been like this the whole way through.
We did so well.
It was very peaceful.
It was peaceful. Even the stuff outside Sky City was peaceful.
There's a little part of me that would just like to withdraw back to a quite boring life. But then I think I've gained a lot of skills, learnt a lot doing this. Yeah, whether I do continue on or not, you know, yeah, I think perhaps somebody will have to ask me again in a year's time. Maybe.